Well, good morning to you. Today I'm going to try to attempt to untotal my sister's totaled 2001 Honda Civic. And she got tapped in the side just a little bit. Let's show you what kind of damage we got. And, well, because you can see, first of all, it ripped the lower A-arm. See what happened to it. And popped a little link off between the torsion bar. It ripped the strut in two. That's pretty interesting. Of course, broke the axle. What's remaining of the axle? So, and ripped the brake line loose. Checked all that out, but I believe the frame is fine. I'm hoping it'll still be in alignment when I get it all back together. But, you know, insurance company's not going to do anything about it, and if we don't try to fix it, it ain't worth nothing as it is. You can't sell it, but send it to a scrap yard. So I just went over it real good, tried to take an inventory of what it's going to need. You see the more damage it did up here. It knocked the condenser out of the support. Radiator's all loose. Of course, messed up the headlights. Broke the engine mount. All that good stuff. So I went online and made a list of all the parts I think I'll need, and we'll go show you those. Okay, so here's our list of parts. I just went on, actually went to Amazon, plugged in the card, the year, the trim, all the information. End up all the parts I need here came up to, I think, about $390. Got a fender, got the engine mount, there's a lower ball joint, broke it, brake line, new axle, there's a nice new lower A-arm, there's a strut. I got the complete strut, so I didn't have to deal with trying to compress the spring and use it. There wasn't much difference. And then we got two new headlights for it. That'll spruce it up. And of course got a new fender for it. So all these parts wasn't that bad, about $390 for everything delivered. So we'll get to working on this and slowly piece it back together and see if we can't get it back on the road. Beat sending it to the junkyard. Making progress. Got the strut put on here. Got the new brake line. Got the little link here on the torsion arm. Yeah, nice new bolts up here. Now come the lower ball joint. That was kind of a pain. Here's the lower ball joint. I had to replace it. And knocking it out wasn't so bad, but driving it, getting it put in there, you can't get a good angle at it hardly. So you can see where I beat the time out of that socket. So I laid that socket on there and finally got it drove down in there. You just got to be careful not to damage it. Because I noticed these things don't come with any grease in them, and because they do come with a grease fitting. But on this particular one, if you put the grease fitting on there, when you put the axle in it, the axle will rub. So I put the grease fitting on there, filled it full of grease, and then I put the plug back in it. So maybe in different applications, sometimes you use the grease fitting, sometimes you don't. But in this case, we won't be using the grease fitting. But she is full of grease. And there's the air compression. Looking pretty good. Everything's turning. No weird noises. So that wasn't so bad. Went a lot easier than I thought it would, actually. About an hour and a half. Took care of that part. But you can see inside here I got all this mess to take care of. Two airbags all blowed out. Kind of fix all that up. But getting this front end, I'm sure that's where the time's going to take. Getting that front end all put back together and lined back up, fender on it, and headlights in it. I'm sure that'll be a real pain in the butt. So it's like I thought. This is really going to be the pain here. You can see how all this is all mangled up because I got the fender off and the bumper. But I've got all this stuff all mangled up. I got to try to beat it, pull it back out halfway decent where I can get the fender to bolt up, get the headlights to bolt back up. Fender and all that good stuff. Well, look at the radiator. It took a ding, didn't it? But luckily it's not leaking. The air conditioning's still ice cold. That's the air conditioning condensers, the radiator. Luckily they both still work well, no leaks. But just one step at a time, losing daylight. So I'm about to stop. I did realize something. You see how mangled this is. At least I got the other side to go by. I know what it's supposed to look like because this side didn't get hit. So at least it gives me a little bit of reference of how I need to pull the metal out and get it close to where it's supposed to be. So hopefully it won't be too awful bad. We'll just see. Oh well, it looks like it's about 4 o'clock in the morning. Started working on this some more. I'm a night owl, if you hadn't noticed. We got the fender on. That it bolted up pretty good to the top. I had to do a little beating on these brackets just to line things up. Wasn't too bad, but really got some issues here. Look at the distance here, which shoved all this metal over so far. Look what a gap I got. So, and then also this is all mangled up. This is what the headlight bolts to, and it's, you know, it got, you can see how far it got pushed over. So I got to put that in a vise and try to bring it back to life best I can, and then work on getting the headlights lined up. I'm sure it's gonna be a real pain. Got the radiator back in good shape. Got all that mounted in where all these were bent up. Got that part fixed. Still no leaks. So we'll just keep beating on it until it looks like a car again. Another late night, and both headlights are all in, and starting to put this plastic stuff all back around in the fender. I was wanting you to check this out. Look at how much metal, how much different that is. So this piece of metal here is supposed to be right here. So it shoved it over a good 3 inches, but it's just real thin. There's no way to ever get that back out. But it's still plenty sturdy without it. It ain't going nowhere because you got this metal brace here that goes underneath the new headlight and mounts on here. Time I get the rest of the brackets on there, that'll be fine. But it did take a pretty good lick, it looks like, and shoved everything over. And oh yeah, I had to readjust couldn't get the hood to close and get an ideal. See how much I had to bend this in order to get it to line up with this, because everything about the front end got shoved over. But anyway, we're slowly getting it back together. Should have it drivable hopefully tomorrow. Okay. It's been a couple of weeks now, and it's filthy dirty, but it drives great. Goes right down the road straight as an arrow. Got it all back together. Just need to adjust the headlights on it. So we took a potential junkyard car and got her back on the road. I don't have the hood closed all the way. Fixing to adjust the headlights on it. But she is back on the road for about, what, $400 I think it was. So better than junking it out, and got some transportation now. So hopefully you can do the same to yours someday, or hopefully you don't have to deal with this kind of stuff. But sometimes it happens. Have a great day.